I've made a series of boxes, and these are going to be a single piece when it's done, a stacking box like this with a flip top for easy access into the top section of the box. If you need to see how these boxes were made, you can see the construction in my video for the prototype box. The next thing I'm going to do with this is cut the covering material. I have a piece of Skyvertex here, and I want the covering material to go from about a ½ inch on the bottom all the way around and all the way down the inside and a little onto the floor. So in order to measure for that, I'll take and I'll mark this at one height, 2 heights, and then the 3rd height. And I'm probably not going to use the full 3rd height because that's a lot of fabric, because I only need a ½ inch on the floor, on the bottom and inside. So I'll cut this a little bit short at this mark here. The next thing is the length. So I need to put this on here and roll it around one time, and then give it just a, let me do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I'm going to give it about a ½ inch for covering, like that. So I'll cut these pieces and show you the next step. I have the pieces cut now, and 2 of the boxes will be covered all the way around, going all the way around. The top I will only cover 3 sides, the 2 short sides and the long side in the front, because the back side will be covered with the material from the lid. So I'll take the first piece here for the top, and I'll only cut this down again. Short side, long side, short side, and I left a little extra here on this end here, and I'm going to leave a little extra here on this end to wrap around the corners. So I have 1 short piece. Now I'm going to take each of these fabrics and line them up and crease the center of each of these pieces. So what I'll do is I'll cover the top first. So I will cover the top box first, and I'll start out by gluing up one of the short sides. And then I will set the open end of the box into the fold with a little bit of the ½ inch showing around the outside edge. I'll check this to make sure I've got enough. Not quite enough there, so I'm going to slide it over. There, okay. That should bring it around. Good. Okay, now before I do the next side, I'm going to open the corners, open the seams. That way the fabric doesn't resist when you try to wrap it around. See how it just falls, right down. So I'll set the little edge on here first. And then I'll worry about getting the glue on the front edge. And I'm setting the box right into the fold. And while this is here, I'll just rub this down on the side. And rub down the front. And then we'll open the seams on this side too. And open the seams on this front here. Glue this side. And press this down into the fold. And then we'll open the seams on this side and finish this top piece off. Okay. Now I'm going to turn the edges in on this box. So the first thing I'm going to do is fold down all of these edges here and give them a nice crease. Like that. And make sure the top is also, all down here. So I'll take the triangle and I'm going to miter the corners here. And do the same thing here. And here. Okay. Now we'll just open these up. And take the roller. And glue these edges down. Got a little bit of excess glue on here. There. do the top. Okay, first thing on this, and you'll do the same thing for all of the other boxes, all of the other parts of the box, is to turn your knife, set it on the miter, turn it up, and just give it a little pull so that it cuts through the 2 layers of fabric. You do that on all corners. And I try to hold the fabric flat and tight, like that, and like this. Okay, now we'll open these up. On this one here, I'm just going to cut it like that. The miter's already there. And same thing for this one, same thing for this corner here. Okay. This will be the last side that folds in. This will be the last side that folds in. So I'm going to cut this with the shears so that the fabric will fall just inside the edge of the board. Like that, and then I'll move over here and just cut out one board's thickness away so that there's a little V missing, from that. My camera keeps slipping today. There, and the little nick. Okay, so the first sides that go in are these sides here. And I'm just going to push this. Oh, that should have had a little nick taken out of there. There, okay. Rub down the top edge and push this in flat on the floor. And stand the box up. Press it into the bottom like this. And rub this down so that you have a little flap of fabric coming up on the inside edge of the front and back boards. I'm just going to lift this little corner up here so that I can push this in. Do the same thing on this side. And then rub down the fabric on the floor of the box and push the little flaps right into the corner so it's nice and tight. Okay, these trays are going to be have some like cloth on the bottom, so I'm not going to cover the bottom now. I'll do that after the box is complete. Over the edge nice and tight. Pinch it and push it down. Push the fabric into the corners, onto the floor, lift that little corner up there so that the flap goes in. And you can see how it goes up around the edges there. Now we'll do the front flap. Lay this down, and you see how the fabric falls neatly into the edge of the board there. Use my nail to sort of bring that around. Press this down, lay it down so you can put pressure on it, and then use the chisel end of your folder to push it into the corner, and then lay it flat onto the floor here. Then we'll stand it up and lay this down too. Now you could miter these corners if you wanted to by putting the triangle in here, but since I'm going to be putting fabric in here, I'm not going to worry about that. If you were going to line this with paper or something, you would want to miter the ends so you don't have a real buildup in the corners. Okay, the top part of the box is done. This side will be covered when I put the top on.